I have been sober for 4 years, but this damn thing has me in a chokehold. And I'm guessing that if you clicked on this video, you're probably in a similar boat. We intuitively know that our phones are taking more from us than they're giving back, but for some reason we still just can't get ourselves to put the dang thing down and to live our lives. My hope for creating this video is to, one, give myself a little bit of accountability and talk through my reasoning of why I am better off deleting social media, and also to maybe inspire you to think through some of the reasons why maybe you'd be better off if you gave up social media as well. So hi, if we haven't met yet, my name is Jackie, and I am a 30-something-year-old woman who is in the process of creating a life that I'm absolutely obsessed with. And I've created this YouTube channel as a way of documenting the journey and hopefully to inspire you to create a life that you are obsessed with as well. I am documenting the journey from scratch, so not as someone who is super far along and has it all figured out, but as someone who is taking you along with me on the journey, because I know it can be super helpful for you to see someone who is 1 or 2 steps ahead of you instead of already having it all figured out, because that can feel unobtainable. So the reason I'm creating this video is to hold me accountable and to really think and talk through the reasons why I would be better off if I just put the dang phone down for at least the next 90 days. And the reason I'm sharing this on YouTube is because I know that there are a ton of other people who are in a similar boat, and maybe hearing my reasons why I'm giving it up will resonate with you and maybe inspire you to put down the phone for a period of time as well. There are so many reasons why giving up social media is the right move for me, but the first thing that comes to mind is the version of myself that I want to become is not a person who spends a ton of time on her phone. For me, yes, I feel like sometimes when I'm on social media, I'm laughing and I'm learning new things and I'm doing all of this, but more often than not, I'm just compulsively reaching for my phone and scrolling mindlessly. Most of the time when I'm reaching for my phone, it is a total waste of time. And time is our most valuable resource. And I don't want to spend that time doing things that are not productive, doing things that are not bringing me true joy, doing things that don't add to my life at all. If I'm truly someone who is so serious about creating a life that I'm obsessed with, I am not going to do that by spending a bunch of time scrolling on my phone. I'm not going to become a better person by doing that, and neither are you. I am someone who's huge on living a life that's in alignment with your values. And if I looked at my calendar right now and how I spent the last 7 days and my hours in those days, it would not feel in alignment with my values. You would not be able to tell what I valued. You'd think that I valued comfort. You'd think that I'd valued easy entertainment. You think that I valued dopamine. And that's not who I want to be. So right now, one of the biggest reasons why I'm giving up social media for at least the next 90 days is because I want to be a person who spends their time in alignment with their values. And being on social media is just not contributing to that in my current season of life. There are so many things that I want to do with this extra free time that I'm going to have now that I'm giving up social media. I am super passionate about this YouTube channel and about creating a life and a business that I am obsessed with. If I looked at my screen time right now, it would probably be ridiculous and embarrassing. I want you to take out your phone right now and I want you to look at your screen time. I want you to see how much time you spend on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever your social media of choice is. And I want you to see how much time you spend in a typical week scrolling on that app. Okay. Now I want you to take that amount of time and think about what would you want to do with those hours, with those minutes, whatever the amount of time is for you. What could you be doing instead? Maybe something that's really important to you in this season is you want to learn more. Okay, you could be reading a book that actually contributes to your growth. Maybe you have a desire to have the body of your dreams, but you're not actually spending time working out. Okay, put that phone down and spend that time going to the gym, learning about nutrition habits, learning about what kind of strength training or exercise is actually going to contribute to you getting the body that you want. There are so many things that we could be doing with this time, with our valuable, sweet, precious time that we only get a limited amount of. I promise you that there are so many better uses of your time than just scrolling on social media. So that is the number one reason why I'm giving up social media is I want to take my time back. I want to spend my time in alignment with my values, and I want to encourage you to do the same. I want to use that time wisely. I want to use that time in alignment with my values. So instead of just giving up social media, I am instead going to spend the time that I would have spent scrolling on social media doing super intentional things that contribute to creating the life I'm obsessed with. Reason number 2 why I want to give up social media. It is messing with my attention span. I used to be able to spend hours reading books. I used to be able to spend a whole workday, working. And now that I'm so consumed with social media and I'm so used to like scrolling through 10-second, 5-second TikToks, my attention span is so much shorter. It is so much harder for me to focus when my brain has been hijacked by all this dopamine. And there are so many studies that have been done that show how much social media takes away from your focus. This is something like, I want to be a person who can focus. I want to be a person who is not distracted. I want to be a person who is in pursuit of their dreams. And that is just not something that I can do if I'm distracted or if I can't focus. So that is another big reason why I'm giving up social media. I want to be able to choose what I focus on. I don't want my brain to be in this state where it's constantly searching for the next thing and I need to switch tasks every few seconds because that's just what it's used to. No, I want to train my brain to be someone who can get into deep work, who can actually focus, who can spend their time wisely and undistracted. This next reason is one of the most important reasons. I've gotten to a point where I have gotten so much dopamine from social media that my normal life feels kind of blah. Like things that used to be so exciting don't feel that exciting anymore because our phones are literally designed to stimulate all of these different centers in our brains that make us feel so good temporarily. When you spend all of this time on your phone and you're used to that super quick dopamine release and you're used to that constant dopamine release and you're constantly thinking that there's going to be new notifications or there's just always something there on your phone that feels so exciting to your brain, that the rest of your life is going to feel a lot less exciting. You're not going to notice the trees. You're not going to feel as excited about the sun beating down on your face. You're not going to feel as excited about these little things that before social media probably seemed like a really big deal. I want to take my brain back. I don't want to be constantly searching for the next quick hit that I can get so easily. I want to get my dopamine from actually working hard and doing hard things, like creating a YouTube video. That's something that I truly get fulfillment out of, not scrolling on social media. Social media might give me that dopamine quicker, but if I'm so used to that, it's going to be so much harder to get me to do those things that are actually harder to do, but are more worthwhile over time. So for me, this is a huge reason. I want my life to feel exciting again. I don't want to spend my time scrolling on social media because right now, like your brain gets a lot more stimulation from scrolling on TikTok, for example, than it would from going and hanging out with your friends, most likely. But I know in the long run, hanging out with my friends is going to provide a more fulfilling, more enjoyable life in the long run. So I don't want to keep chasing these quick dopamine hits, this ever-present pleasure. I want to have a life that is actually meaningful. The more time I spend on social media, the harder that's going to be, the less enticing it's going to be to chase after those dreams that actually require work. And this is something that's so important to me. I want to live a worthwhile life. I don't want to live a life that just feels good in the moment. That's why I quit drinking. That's why I've done so many different things. That's why fitness and health are so important to me because I care so much about holistic health. I want my whole life to just be amazing. I want my life to feel deeply fulfilling. I don't want it to just feel deeply satisfying in the moment by doing all of these quick, easy things that give my brain so much dopamine. I want to train my brain to not constantly reach for that source of dopamine, but instead to reach for the things that are actually harder to do, but are more worthwhile over time. The next reason, social media is literally designed to make you feel lack. These apps are designed to take as much of your time as possible. And the way that they can make the most money is by getting to know you deeply and by making their advertisements so personal to your insecurities. So these apps literally benefit from preying on your insecurities. These apps get to know you intimately. They know your fears, they know your pains, they know your goals, they know all of these things, and they use that to target you and to get you to buy things or to get you to feel like you're lacking something, and just purchasing that next thing will actually help you out. A key example of this for me is I have never had any fillers, I've never had Botox. I want to age gracefully and naturally. I don't want to put these things in my body that probably don't contribute to my long-term health, but if I'm on social media and I see these women who are 40 years old and they look like they're 20 because they've gotten work done, it's going to feel very appealing for me to look into those things. It's going to make me think, hey, do I need filler? Do I need Botox? And the answer is no. My values are that I don't want to get those things, that I want to do what's going to be good for my longevity and my overall health. I don't want to raise a daughter who feels like she needs to get this work done in order to feel beautiful. I want it to feel normal for people to age gracefully. But yeah, if I'm being fed all of this constantly, like, yeah, all of these people who have fillers, it starts to feel like that's normal. Like right now, I feel like I'm in the minority because I've never gotten any fillers or I've never gotten any Botox. However, that's probably not true. If you look at the overall world and people who are in it, more people than not probably are not getting fillers and getting Botox. But it feels that way because of social media feeding me so many people who are getting those things. And I don't want to spend my money on things I don't want to value, just like I don't want to spend my time on things that I don't value. So for me, another reason why I want to get off social media is I want to tap back into my own values. I want to get to know myself intimately. I want to make sure that I am so rock solid in what my values are that even if I'm fed these advertisements for filler, for Botox, for all of these things, that I'm not going to choose to go out and get them just because I'm sold something on social media. I want to know myself and trust myself and lean on my own values over anything else. And that's really hard to do when there's so much noise from these algorithms that are literally designed to get you to buy things, to get you to feel lack, to get you to feel like this next thing is what's going to actually help you change your life. That's not the kind of life I want to live. So for me, that's another huge reason is I want to tap into my own values. I don't want the algorithm to tell me what I need or what I should do or what I should fear or any of these things. I want to intentionally cultivate those things. Now, there are a million other reasons, I'm sure, but the next thing that I wanted to talk about was that I want to be a creator. I don't want to be someone who just goes through life consuming a bunch of things. I strongly believe that God put us on this earth for a reason. And for me, I have this super strong urge to create. However, it's so hard to create and to be unique and to tap into your own voice when you are constantly being flooded with other people. You are either a consumer or a creator at the end of the day, and I am currently someone who is consuming way more than I'm creating. I want to leave a legacy into this world. I want to inspire people. I don't want to just be inspired. So for me, taking a step back from social media, not consuming so much, is going to help me just really clear my brain and my ears and my eyes of all of these other people who are creating, and instead help me tap into what I want to create. Help me tap into God. Help me to really be more clear on what my individual mission is and not listen to so much of the outside noise. I want to create my own ideas. I want to have my own unique voice. I don't want to sound like everyone else. I don't want to look like everyone else. I don't want to be like everyone else. I want to get to know myself and who God has created me to be individually. That is so hard to do when you are constantly consuming other people's content. I want to get to know myself so deeply and so intimately, not based on what I feel influenced by other people to do or to say or to be. I want to know who God wants me to be. And I think that is so much harder to do when you are constantly being flooded with information and opinions and ideas from other people. That's not necessarily meant for you. Maybe you have your own path and your own journey. And if you just take some time off to stop listening to all of that noise, you can more clearly hear what God has to say to you. I want to live a life like that. I want to live a life where I hear God speaking to me, where I feel so strongly that this is the path that God has called me to, that I'm taking action towards it, that this is who God has created me to be, that these are the things that I value. I don't want to be distracted by all of the noise. I want to be a creator. I don't want to be a consumer. So I apologize if this video was a little bit rambly, but it felt so good and cathartic to make. And it has really helped me solidify why I'm doing this, why I'm giving up social media. And I hope that it has maybe spoken to you and made you think a little bit more about what it could be like if you gave up social media as well. If you want to join me, what I am doing is for the next 90 days at least, I am not going to look at a single social media app. I'm deleting TikTok and Instagram because those are my two main sources of dopamine, and I cannot watch any YouTube shorts. So long form content for me that feels more, it feels more like something that's contributing to my growth and it doesn't take away my attention span. But other things like TikTok and Instagram do feel that way. So those are the two apps that I'm absolutely giving up, and I'm also not going to be on YouTube Shorts. I'm doing this for at least 90 days where I can't look at it, I can't open it on my browser, I can't look at it on my phone. I'm going to share along the journey how it's impacting me. So if you want to join me as well, my next video that I'm creating is going to be all about how I'm doing this, because it takes a lot more than just willpower. I've learned that through giving up many vices in my life, like alcohol, for example, which I'm now 4 years sober from. So I know that these things work, and these are the tools that I'm going to be using to make sure that I actually make it through these 90 days without a single cheat, without a single slip up. And if I do that, we're starting the clock over because I'm trying to retrain my brain here. I do believe that long term, I will be able to have a relationship with social media that is beneficial. But for now, it's just not. It does not contribute to the goals that I have in my current life. So I'm just getting rid of it. And I hope that this has inspired you to maybe either set some screen time limits for yourself or to maybe go on a journey like I am and give it up completely. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to hear more content about how this giving up social media journey is going, or how creating a life that I'm obsessed with is going, I would love for you to follow along. Maybe like and subscribe. And that is all I have for you. So I hope you have the best day.